Hello everybody, Jeff Harrington here from wickedoil.com, home of the extended oil change interval. Um, this video is about my two Gibson guitars. This is a 2017 studio, um, I forgot the designation for it. Anyway, it's not your basic studio. It's right next door to a custom or the whatever their other high-end model is. Anyway, it's got a lot of the nice features. It just doesn't have the binding on the neck or the body, but it's got most of the other stuff. It has push and pull pots on the volume, and I thought they were splitting the pickups. They weren't. What they're doing is they're adding a capacitor, and it sounded pretty much like shit. It's real all, I wouldn't call it muddy, but it was real muffled, which is muddy. Anyway, both of my guitars have had a major static problem. Like there's a lot of videos out there about this. And this is actually the original circuit board that came in it. And I touched the strings. It doesn't matter what the volume was set at. It didn't matter, what pickup, or if it was both pickups playing. Touching this, if I rubbed the back here, it'd be just all the static electricity. And it was so irritating that I was ready to, I'm not going to give up on this guitar. This thing cost me $1,300, but, and this is the first new guitar I've ever bought, so I wasn't going to give up on it, but I was really frustrated. And now I put a treble bleed circuit on both of these, on both sides of this particular unit, because I was, they turn them down and they sound like crap straight out of the factory. I put a treble bleed on there and it sounded a lot nicer, but it still had a major static problem. So I was like, well, hey, I'm spending all this money. Let's spend a whole bunch more money. So I bought this from EpiPlug on eBay. It was $150 something, and this is 4 push-pull pots. It's upgraded. It's hot rodded and all that other stuff. They call it the Jimmy Page Mark IV, whatever. And you can series, parallel. You can single each one of the pickups. You can change the taper on these things. You can change you can have it so that you have treble bleed only in certain situations, or all the time, or none of the time. And the first one of these I got, hell, it was worse than the stock unit. I mean, it was just, I made a video for this guy. I said, dude, bullshit. Okay? Ain't happening for $155, let's just call it. And anyway, I ended up sending it back to him, and he claims he sent me the same one back, but I don't think he did. Anyway, works great, but still lots of static electricity. So, and the thing's kind of noisy. Even the one he sent me back that didn't have as much static problem, it was a lot quieter, but it's still, you touch stuff and you can still get a little of that staticky stuff. And it's like, it's not that I expect to have absolutely none, but it's like, come on, man, all the money I've spent on this thing is pissing me off. And anyway, one day I decided, I wonder if it has something to do with this. Now, I will say this. This thing, the way it was mounted when I got it, that board was touching the floor of the cavity. And it has some kind of a coating in there. I kind of assumed it's some kind of static, Faraday cage kind of action. Of course, didn't have any on the inside of the back cover, but anyway, one of my things that I tried was to copper shielding inside. I did it all the way around. I did the cover. I made sure that it was grounded to, you know, the grounding network and everything. Really didn't help. Surprisingly enough, that did not really help much. It helped maybe a little bit, but not much. So as a last resort, because I was like going, I'm going to solve this problem somehow or another. So I was going to buy pots, and I thought, you know, I bet there's nothing wrong with these pots. So I desoldered the 4 pots, measured them. I had somebody tell me that these are that they only put like 300K pots on here. Well, they didn't put 300K pots on this thing. The volume, both volumes measured right about 476 thousand ohms, and the tone, both of them measured just over 500. And I thought about swapping them, and I'm thinking, well, do I really think 25 ohms is going to make any difference? So anyway, I placed them the same way. Volume pots are still the push-up, and I wired it old style. It's modern wiring scheme, but just like this is. But I hand wired it, and just so you guys know, the Gibson wiring for the pots. This has the quick connect plugs for them, which I snipped the ends off of the wiring and left some so that I could reuse them if I wanted to. And the green and the white wires are the ones that are tied together, and if you want to split the coils, those are the ones that you ground with a switch. The red and the black, that's your the red is your hot from your pot, and then the black goes to ground. And the green and the white wire are tied together if you just want the humbucker. If you want to be able to split the humbucker, as in single it, then you'll have a switch that sends the green and white to ground when it's turned on. That's it. Okay, now I had a couple of these. Now this is for my SG, but I had a couple of extra of these from projects I've done in the past. So instead of cutting that, I just stuck that aside and used a different one and wired it. Anyway, now in doing that, now it's still all shielded and everything, and I'm using the stock pots. And here is my guitar. That's turned on lightly. That's the here. Let me do it down here. So you hit the strings and it makes sounds. See, there's no popping anymore. There's nothing. It's grounded. Everything. It's nice and quiet. That's the neck pickup. The amp is like set on 7, I think 7 or 8. Set on 7, pretty loud. Doesn't really get much louder after that, a little bit. And I've got the volume pot turned down. Tone is all the way up. Of course, this isn't a demonstration of the guitar, but anyway. not if, you probably are having the same damn problem. I don't know. I've had people argue with me about these. My guitar is louder, the bass, the low frequencies are more pronounced now with this manual wiring. And honestly, that high performance one there and everything, it's louder than that one was. Now that one has more options because all I'm doing is splitting. When I pull the pots up, all I'm doing is splitting. But my point is, there's something about this. Now, maybe I've got several circuits that there's something inherently wrong with them. I don't know. I doubt that seriously. But I can tell you, I have trained ear. I've spent a lot of years training myself to hear these things. And I can tell you, I don't have a spectrometer. I didn't do it before and after because I wasn't in this trying to get a hotter setup or anything like this. I was trying to get rid of that static problem. So this is kind of an afterthought to even make this video. But my guitar is louder, when I turn it up. It's more defined. It has a better sound all the way around. And I've had several people argue with me. They call me a bald-faced liar and a fucking asshole and all this other shit, telling me I'm passing out false information, that you cannot tell the difference between, this circuit and hand-wired. And I'm calling bullshit on bullshit. I think these people are talking theory because I'm telling you right now it made a fucking difference. And I don't give a shit if you believe me or not. You can bite my fucking ass. I know it made a difference. It made a giant difference. And again, one of those people that was arguing with me was the one saying, well, you used 500K pots. They only put 300K in these. Well, sorry, you're full of shit. This had 476 in the volume, and it was like 503 on one of the tones and 501 on the other. They were real tight there. So, and I used these. The ones that came out of here. If I used different pots or something like that, somebody could make a valid argument that, well, you use different components. The only thing that's different is I eliminated this. And I got rid of my static problem. I've got much better, more refined tone and everything. So, and I'm not even using my good amp. This is about a 15-year-old Fender FM212R, which has got Celestion speakers in it, and I've done a few little things to it over the years internally. But the thing is, this isn't even my tube amp, and I mean, this amp's always sounded good anyway. Not as good as my tube amps, but anyway, that's a different argument. So if you're confident in doing it, and you have the soldering equipment and everything, then I would say give it a try. Because if you cut, now you can go to EpiPlug, just a little hit for them. They sell the plug-ins that go into these little jacks for the pickups. It's like $28 delivered for both of them. And they'll even wire them, solder them up and wire them for you. So all you have to do is plug them in, and you can plug into the harness from the pickups and then cut those wires to plug in manually. Or you can do like I did, cut them off and leave. I left about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on each one. One of them is like that long, way longer than it needs to be. And the other one's, there's probably several inches there you can play with. And then just save those. I got a little kit where I have all my electronics parts. But either way, it doesn't matter how you do it. You do that and try it for yourself. And I have a feeling you're going to be glad you got rid of this piece of shit, because my SG is fixing to get this. Now, I bought another circuit board out of from another, as a company that was doing an upgrade for somebody. And my SG has the You know, where you plug the guitar jack, guitar cord jack is mounted. It's part of the PC board. Well, I bought one that has a separate jack for that because I didn't want to molest another one of these. So, and I changed that. So I spent $55 getting that, and now I cut down the static problem down to maybe 10 or 15%. It's just got a very small amount of problem. Of course, there was a bad connection on the board somewhere, and you hit it, you'd be playing, and all of a sudden it'd go, sound like a damn lightning bolt coming out of the amp, and you know, it's kind of unearthing, to be honest with you, because like I said, I play kind of loud. Anyway, but so with that said, and another thing, you know, you keep one of these around, you've got an exact template for wiring up your pots, because how can you go wrong with this? The pot's already fit in the hole. So you know, try it out. If you can't do it, if you're not confident to do it yourself, you don't have the parts, you don't want to mess with it, take it to a tech. I bet you can get this done for well under $100, or maybe it's $100. So what? $100, even if it was $150 to get rid of that static problem, wouldn't it be worth it? It's worth it to me. I'd go down and pay him in a heartbeat. So anyway, thanks for listening. If there's anybody who wants to tell me I'm full of shit, go ahead, because I'm just going to tell you to fuck off. So anyway, bye. Oh, for the sake of saying, it is, this is April Fool's 2018. So this is not an April Fool's joke, just in case anybody's thinking it. See you, bye.